summertime, it felt right drinking cherry wine with you. Just wanted to own it, just wanted to take the time, learn all the things that I could about you. Now it's such a mess here, oh, we are just stressed here. Used to be so easy with you.
Hey DT, thank you for coming on my show today.
What a difference, huh? What a beautiful studio.
I know, I haven't, yeah, that was years ago that you came on to promote. Yep. That was, so that movie finally came out. What was that movie you were promoting?
Was it Camp Terror?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hitting the film festivals right now, and it's killing it, I guess.
But it took forever to edit. Because then it just came out last year at the end of the year.
I think Raul Cantu came on and did a lot. He had to do a lot of Foley sound and stuff, so. Because we shot, well, I'm not saying we, Sam shot with generators going a lot to keep the electricity, the lights going in the floor, so we had to do all the sound all over again.
Wow, I gotta get a copy of it. I gotta talk to Sam and get.
From what I heard, it's killing it in the festivals. It's won multi-awards, like
that is
30
so
or
cool.
40 awards, so I'm happy for the cast. And it's funny, I bumped into Melissa Darling on a commercial for a Honda or something recently, a couple weeks ago. And it's funny to see them. They were on their first movie. Now they've moved on, and I'm the guy in the background now, and they're getting all this stuff. And I'm happy for them. I am.
At some point we're do the circle like that.
Yeah,
we feel all those shoes of life.
I'm happy for all of them. I mean, like Melissa's doing really well. Madison Simpson, I think, moved out of California. Smart move, but she was a great actress. I hope she continues to act. I do. She was great. She won an award for Best Badass, I think. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I was really happy for her.
So what, you've almost been on like 30, 40 projects since you filmed that, because you started filming that in like 2018?
Little things, yeah. I think I just broke like 110 projects now. So,
really?
Yeah.
How do you keep track? Do you remember what you do?
No, I do if it's brought up a lot, and a lot of it's kind of insignificant stuff that's kind of, but lately it's been good. I worked with a director, Darren Lynn Boozman. He directed Saw 2 and 3. Yeah, nice. And I just did a thing where I played a firefighter. I can't really say much about it right now, but it was awesome. What a good director. And it's a big horror movie.
Love that. Okay, so what's this big Ricky Bird project?
Oh, Ricky. Yeah, I feel for Ricky. He's like, I swear it's a corny thing, but I swear I feel like he's my son. He calls me Pops. I've known him for years. He had a rough year this year. He lost his dad and stuff. And, his daughter kind of got her license. So it's the empty nest syndrome with him now. All his kids are grown. And I've known them since they were little kids. Now they're all out and about. And so I think Ricky got in a little funk, between his dad's passing and that. And so he said, I got to get going. And he went out and put the team together, and he refilmed Naked Zombie Girl, and it's called Naked Zombie Girl is Back, and boy, is she ever.
And you play the Naked Zombie Girl?
No, that's yikes. I play a it doesn't. This one here doesn't explain it as much, but I'm a real angry soul looking for her.
Oh, what a far reach for you.
She burnt me hard, and I'm going after her no matter what. You know, there's a zombie apocalypse going on, and I'm still interested in getting her. It was played this time.
Are you the zombie?
No.
So that's what I thought.
Yeah, I'm just an angry man that.
So you're trying to attack the zombie?
No, I'm out to get her.
Okay.
She's human, and
so why is it called Naked Zombie Girl if she's human?
Because she is actually wailing on zombies. She loses her dress and ends up in a garage and defends herself with a chainsaw.
So is she naked during the movie?
Yeah.
Well then,
I'll tell you what.
That's not a plug.
Her name's Nicole Sinaglia. I'm hoping I get it right. What a trooper. She, unbelievable. We all, like Ricky had a closed set.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, that's out of respect, you know. And when we weren't needed, we weren't there. It was cold out. This kid was being covered. She did a bunch of stunts. She had to climb a barbed wire fence. I didn't hear her complain once. Not once.
Wow.
I mean,
that is so cool.
Yeah, super actress. She really kicked ass in it.
So when are we going to see this one?
It's done, basically. I think Ricky's just putting a little bit of the soundtrack in and all that. And he's releasing it free. It's a short for, I guess, an investor.
Okay.
And the investor really likes it. So he's debating now whether he wants to make it into a feature or a show with episodes.
Nice. Because the other feature that you did with him was a booze.
Booze, Broads, and Blackjack. Yep.
Booze, Broads, and Blackjack. And that's been streaming.
Yeah, yep. That was Carl Nacita's life story, I guess. Yeah. I met Carl and.
Yeah, there were some great actors in that, from like The Sopranos.
Vincent Pastore from The Sopranos and Joe Raffa, Sarah French. Sarah French is killing it right now, and I'm so happy for her. Her and I actually flew to Syracuse together for the premiere. And
that's so cool.
She is a sweetheart. I'm so happy for her. She deserves everything she gets because she lives it. She puts in, she learns her parts, she learns her lines, she physically, mentally gets into it. So I'm glad to see good people get good things. And she's a doll. She is. She's a good. I hope to work with her again sometime.
So do you ever do any real acting? Do you ever play a nice guy?
Very rarely. Very rarely. I think the last nice guy I played, I'm buying a truck in a Toyota commercial. That was it. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, God gave me this. I got to play the bad guy, you know? Like Girl on the Mountain. Look at Danny Riley looks like Jim Cazale, and he's got the leading man looks, the iron chin and all that. I had to play the bad guy.
But you were so good, and I was very riveted. That was so fun. I love watching that.
I had a ball on it. Danny was great, and Mackenzie Sconce, oh my God.
Oh, that was amazing talent.
She went through so much, the rain, and man.
People just don't know what it takes.
Yeah, it was up there in Yosemite. It was kind of cold. Everybody was cold. Matt was wet, you know, and he's poor guy's under like a tarp and filming, and Danny went through a lot, but we all stayed together, and it was fun. We ate together. Everybody got to know each other. I had a blast on that. I did.
Nothing like a fun set where you vibe with everybody.
Helps. It does, because I've been on some that are just
stuffy.
Oh. Yep.
Well, we always have fun on Michael S. Rodriguez films.
Oh, man, it's more, you know, he gets it done, but we have fun doing it.
Right.
I don't know how he can balance it, but he does. We go in there, he's very, he's one of the directors, he reminds me of like Ricky. He'll get his version of it, and then he lets you play with a couple, you know.
Yeah.
I watched you film, and he after he got what he wanted, he said, Sparkle, do it your way, do what you want. And that's a guy who his convictions are strong, because he knows, you know. Most guys are insecure. They're like, oh, I can't let anybody decide. I'm the director. Mike's not like that in the least.
What was it like in Film Fiend, your character? I didn't get to do a lot of scenes with you.
I got to see a lot of your stuff that night. Yeah, it was wild. I was like, wow.
I didn't get to do a lot with you, and so tell us about your character in that movie.
I play a coroner with a young kid, and we got the killer's body in the back of the ambulance. I don't want to give anything away. It's like at the last part of the movie, but it's funny. The young kid is all interested in seeing bodies and stuff, and I'm supposedly the veteran coroner that's, I've seen it all, I don't want to look. And so Mike let us have a lot of fun with that.
I bet. Oh
Yeah.
my!
I can't
wow.
wait to see it, because from what I saw in here with you and the killer and all that, I was like, wow.
I did my own stunts too. Though.
I know you did.
It's funny. I did get my knees bruised. It was
I
pretty
was
funny,
going
actually.
to say, I know your legs got beat up. Yeah. It's fun, isn't it, though?
It really is fun.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's almost like playing football. You just get to wrestle around and, have a good time.
One of the guys.
Be one of the
Mike
guys.
said everybody's one of the guys.
One of the guys.
Everybody.
So what do you have coming up now? What are you working on currently?
Next week I go to Burbank, to a studio in Burbank, and I start filming Blood Brothers with a director, a younger guy named Owen Nealand. And he sent me the script. I read it, and I was like, oh my God, I really like this, because it's one character is very funny, and the other two are semi-serious. And they're like kind of all hanging out in an apartment, and something goes wrong, and I end up being the older brother of someone that something happens to, and I go after all of them. And
Oh, boy, watch
It's really
out.
cool, though. It's funny. The script is funny, and then it will turn like that and be dead serious. So it's pretty challenging, and I love the script. So we just worked out all the stuff. I start next week on that one.
DT, how old were you when you started out, like when your first project?
God, it's been almost 20 years. It has been almost 20. Yeah, I think I got 20 years coming up soon.
And you started on the East Coast, or you started here?
No, I actually was on the set of The Good Son, Macaulay Culkin's movie.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
I was a big Elijah Wood fan.
He was.
and
you know
I
what?
love Macaulay
You wanna hear
Culkin.
a
I
funny-
got to meet him.
I know we're on a limited time, but
No,
here's a
you're
funny
good.
story.
Tell me.
That was filmed in the winter. That house is fake. The inside was another house, but they put a fake house up.
Okay.
And they put the trees up near the windows and stuff. But the park where they filmed that, they had a hill, and the kids were out my way. We call it tobogganing. I don't know what you guys call it, sledding or whatever. Macaulay Culkin and his parents would come right in, go in the fake house. They would not come out. Elijah Wood's parents let him go sledding with the kids. And I thought that was really cool. They kept an eye on him, don't get me wrong, but he got to spend some times with the local kids back there, where I felt bad because Macaulay Culkin seemed to be kind of sheltered and put away.
I met him. I met Macaulay Culkin about like 15 years ago, and he was one of the nicest people I've ever
I
met
never
in my
got to
life.
meet him there, but we got to meet Elijah.
I would have loved that.
And his parents were super nice.
So who were you in the movie?
I wasn't in. I was on the set. I
was
wasn't
the
in
first
the
that you
movie,
were
but
on?
that kind of gave me the bite to do it.
So why did you just got invited on set because you knew people?
It was filming literally 2 blocks from my dad's house. So I show up with my dad's dog, and then they said, "Hey, you'd be in the background walking a dog," and then.
And you're like, okay,
And I think
got
it was
that.
20th Century Fox, and they let me go down every night, and I watched all the stuff.
How fun! That is a good crash course.
Oh, it was awesome watching. I got to know some of the crew members that worked it and stuff. And then when I moved out here, I said, that's something I want to do. And I think one of my earliest stuff, I got to work with Jason Biggs from American Pie.
How fun!
And he couldn't have been nicer. So I was like, wow, if this is how it is, then bang, you meet some people that aren't so nice, and then you weigh it out. Do you want to do this? Do you want to, you know how it is.
I know.
You know.
So with agents, do you have an agent currently?
No. My wife, Georgia, takes care of like a lot of my booking. She's the one that got me Blood
She's
Brothers.
efficient, yeah.
She's great. She got me probably the better price that I've gotten for that type of thing, and she's really good like that, and someone I can trust, obviously.
Right.
And
I can see her being a good negotiator.
well, she is. She's tough. She is tough, but she's she's not, I'm, nobody as far as, so it's not like she gets me a good fair thing, and I go in and I do the best I can for people. And as a matter of fact, the 18th of this month we'll be married 38 years.
That is so impressive.
38 years. Yeah. I was thinking of that today.
I love stories like that.
She loves you. She does. She does. She almost came today, but then she was exhausted, and I said, "Oh, it did good."
Well, we'll have
You
her
two are
on
a little
sometime.
crazy together, but-
We are a little crazy. That'd be fun. Well, on a personal, I don't know what you feel comfortable talking about. How's your son doing?
Very good. Very good.
If you want to recap that story, we have time for that.
What, my son being shot? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah. My son was shot during a robbery, and
Did they ever catch the guy
yes,
who did it?
yeah.
Thank goodness.
Unfortunately, California, I don't care if I live here or not. I don't care if the governor sees this. I think he was very weak on crime.
Yeah, no, we talk about that often on the show.
The two people that were involved in my son's shooting got house arrest while they were on trial.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was a correction officer for 20 years.
So they didn't get, is this because of the bail reform? Because that hasn't
they were minors.
Oh, okay.
But they, you know what I'm saying.
Because I'm like, that hasn't even gone into effect.
It wasn't their first rodeo.
Wow,
Yeah.
really? So, what do you think about that being a corrections officer?
I think it's sickening. I do. I think it's sickening.
How do you think things have changed since the time that you were a corrections officer?
Oh my God, from 95 to now, it's
crazy, right?
Yeah, inmates get flat screen TVs in their cells. They get Burger King sometimes, Kentucky Fried Chicken, volleyball tournaments, softball tournaments. They get visits. They get basically, you smell marijuana in the prison. They get everything in there. I mean, it's a joke.
So is that why you retired?
Actually, it's funny. You said that. That's exactly why I retired. I couldn't. They
got a lot.
They put body cams on the correctional officers now, and so everything is just. And it's supposed to be for their safety too. But unfortunately, if an inmate said I did something to him on a Tuesday, the night I was off, it still gets looked into like you
right.
can believe. And it's just like, oh, right, so we're going to take the word of this child molester over someone. It's sickening. It is. It's sickening. And this state is, I hate saying it's a mess.
Wait, so when you were a correctional officer, are we in California?
Yeah. Yep, 20 years. Yeah.
That's incredible.
1 and 2. And those officers, I'll tell you what, they go to work every day. Sure, there's probably a speckle of bad ones. That's everywhere.
Yeah.
But the ones I got to work with, they go to work every day not wanting any problem.
Right.
They don't want any, they want everything to go smooth. So, and the inmates are out of control now. They're running it.
That is so crazy. So with your son's case, you said they were on ankle monitors until for their trial. So what was what did
they got
end up
7
getting?
years.
Because they were underage.
Well, my son died twice.
Oh my goodness.
He died once for like 2.5 years.
And his wife was pregnant, right?
Yep.
So now is he completely,
this kid, he amazes me because if that was me, I'd probably still be in bed. Bring me ice cream, I was shot. I'd be playing it for all, he's moved on.
He's bounced back, he's working again,
yeah,
he's
he
back
doesn't talk about it, he's back to work, he's enjoying his time with his new daughter, his wife, so I mean, we were blessed.
What a good success rate, but initially that was so
it was
heart-wrenching.
traumatic for all of us. And then to see that, the house arrest and the whole nine, but the Visalia PD and the detectives were incredible.
That's good.
They were incredible. They said, you know what, we're going to do everything we can, and they put in tons of hours.
To catch these guys and make sure they got
I owe them like no tomorrow. And then the surgeon, I guess, told me she had my son's heart in her hand. And
literally.
He died. And she literally said he's too young, and she saved his life. So those are heroes to me, you know what I mean? Not the guy that catches a pass in the end zone, or even like myself, the acting stuff.
Right.
It's a bunch of, come on. We're all egomaniacs.
I think doing the correctional officer is the heroic part.
Oh, those guys do.
So I do think you're a hero.
And the ladies too. There's ladies and men, and they
work with the men, and they have to deal with the same.
I think it's worse for the female correctional officer. They're tough, man. They are. But everybody I work with always went to work with the right attitude. We didn't want problems. We just wanted things to go. But it's the element,
Well, before I let you go, I have to talk about my favorite role that I saw you in was Santa.
Oh my God! Yeah. Yep. I had a good time.
Are you going to be Santa this year?
I don't know. If Bruce calls me, I probably will do it. I had a good time. He threw a couple curveballs at me, but...
And that's a lot of work to deal with the crying babies, but that was...
Yeah, I think it was 28 days straight.
And it was such an upscale. Like, I never think of that when you said that. They built a set for Santa, which is why they got you.
And that, I guess the suit I wore was like $5,000.
Oh, I believe it. It was nice.
Wolf hair boots, the whole nine, and he takes a lot of care. He's got people that have been going to him. Since they were little kids, now they're in their 30s coming and stuff.
Well, I'll come back too if we're done.
Santa needs his help.
I will sit back on your lap.
Can I just shout out one thing?
Shout it out.
August 27th at the Veterans Memorial Hall in Visalia. There'll be a little Comic-Con. Director Michael Rodriguez will be there with all his frills and stuff, posters, all that. Chris Mackey, myself.
The dogs.
I'm doing it for
Okay,
you.
so let's say, so if we buy your stuff, or we have to
Or
pay
you
stuff for the dogs.
you could just come in with a bag of dog food, or you can make a small donation. Georgia and I decided this year there's a place called Paws Estate Rescue and Shelter in Visalia. Right now, the poor, it's a husband and wife. They work full time, but they do this as a passion thing, and they have 41 dogs there right now needing to be adopted.
Oh my God.
41. So I know there'll probably be 40 when I go, because I'll take one home, because I'm going to start volunteering there too.
I love that.
yeah,
Oh my gosh.
It is
Okay, so we
unbelievable.
have to go Visalia, and then where do we go?
It's the Veterans Memorial
Veterans
on Center
Memorial.
Street, and it's August 27th from 11 to 4.
Do we have to buy tickets, or we just go?
I think you
I think
just
we just go
I
there,
guess,
like
and
most of
Michael
them are.
Rodriguez will be there. Chris
we can
Mackey.
dress up.
Yeah, we'll have fun and all that. And my this year I'm going to make all my proceeds are going to go under the name of Tim Priesinger, a friend of mine from back east who just passed away, who's a huge animal lover. So we're going to put everything in his name.
I love that.
Do the donation, but thank you for letting me share that.
You're so awesome, DT. We got to be sure to go. So hope to see
Please,
you all
I hope
there.
you do love a ball.
We'll have a ball. Thank
Yep.
you, DT.
Thanks a lot.
3 days after the apocalypse, the dead will walk the earth. Naked zombie girl.
Oh my gosh, what is this, Kathy? This smells. I wish I could give them to the smell of this. What is this? What did you make me?
This is our banana bread. That is with walnuts, and this is our without nuts. I have different type of bread, of banana bread.
Okay, so this is just regular banana bread.
This is a regular one,
And this is the one with the walnut.
and that is with walnuts, yes.
Oh my goodness.
And
So
these are the quesadilla
how long
bread.
does it take to make this?
Actually, I made this 3 type of bread today, and I'm start at 9 a.m. and I finished like at 30 minutes ago.
How much
Because-
did you make when you started that early?
Actually, when I made this, the little ones, I used like, I made like 24 or 32, depends the event. Tomorrow I'm going to have one event in one neighborhood, and they love bread, but you know, like a little type, because they choose a different type of bread, and I have 4 different of this, but in this moment I just came with 2. And the other is with peanut butter and blueberries. That is amazing too.
Oh my God, I gotta try this.
And
This is
the other is with coffee and Nutella.
Oh my goodness. I don't know how you look like that eating this, but this is amazing.
Okay, I eat the whole night with soda, because I need to bake and I need to taste. If
know.
that this is good, I sell it. If not, I need to remove everything.
What's this flatbread?
These are quesadilla bread. That is a traditional bread of Central America.
So where are you from?
Honduras. I'm from Honduras. I came here 2 years and 6 months ago.
That's it?
Yes, and my business born in. Actually, I have 1 year and 1 month today.
That is so, and this is so amazing. So how long have you been baking bread?
Now, actually, the person who baked was my mom. She teach me. All my family bake and made different things or cook different type of food. But at home, I never cook. When I moved here during the pandemic, I start cooking, trying new things, discover new flavors, baking. And one day my kids say, "Mommy, I miss my grandma banana bread." And this bread is with her secret. And I remember when she made this bread because she worked and worked and worked because in Honduras we made a pudding. It's a pudding, it's more soft. And she wants a bread but with banana. And she said, "No, I need this bread with, when you eat, you feel the different flavors."
Do you ever make the banana bread with, do you ever make the pudding that you sell?
Yeah, not here, but I made, yes.
You just make it at home for your people. You don't sell this. Man, now I want the pudding.
I will make pudding too, but this time I used the secret, my mom's secret. And I said, okay, I'm going to start. And this business born during the pandemic. And I feel so glad because everybody support me. And now I have like 10 different flavors in different types. Today I just have this.
Man, this is great. No, oh my gosh. So people come, because you do a lot of farmers markets, so people come expecting you to be there and expecting your bread, huh?
Yes, I'm at the farmer market every Friday night in Old Town Clovis.
And then you do another one as well, right?
I have Tuesday in River Park, every Tuesday evening. Saturday mornings in Clovis too. And Wednesday, I'm start last Wednesday, and was amazing because the persons was very beautiful.
Wednesday where?
Is I want to say sorry because I don't remember the name. Isn't in Clovis.
Oh, okay. So
yes, it's a neighborhood. Is in one park. But last week was my first time, and I just remember the name of the event, Carriage Park, from Fresno Street Eats. They put the trucks and the people's come in and sit and buy different type of food and bread too. And I decided to start selling there every Wednesday. Now I need to know the name of the place.
Okay, so if I'm having a party and I want you to make bread for it, how do we get a hold of you? And do you do stuff like that? What kind of notice do you need?
Okay, I have my Instagram. I receive orders by
it's Cathy's Bread.
Cathy's House of Bread.
Cathy's House of Bread, because I think they tagged you in the run. There was another Cathy's Bread, so it's Cathy's House of Bread, not just Cathy, but Cathy's House of Bread.
Yes, that is
Cathy
better.
With C.
With C, yes, Cathy House of Bread with C, and I have my phone number 559-387-8722. I prefer by text because I don't forget if you made some order or something. And yes, last week we attended 2 weddings, and this wedding was very traditional, and they want something traditional, like normal, like a house bread. And they ordered me the quesadilla bread and a little ones, and the coconut bread too. This is a different one.
Is that why it's called Cathy's House of Bread? Because that's the kind of actual bread it is?
Yes, because you feel like if you go to visit your grandma, and you eat like a little piece of this bread, you feel at home. That is the reason my name, because I want persons feel they eat something from their house, from their grandma or something like that.
Oh, this is better than my home, no offense. This is really delicious. This is so amazing. This is just a melt. I mean, this is so good. So mainly it's like your culture, but now you did this like quesadilla flatbread. So is this like for the Hispanic culture?
Actually, yes. We have 2. This and this came from my culture.
Okay.
In Honduras, we have 2 different cultures. We have the Maya or Indian persons, and we have the black persons too. And these are more tropical. You found these in the Atlantic part of my country, and this you found in all Central America, but more in the middle. And but yes, we use this. El Salvador, Guatemala, and Nicaragua made the same bread too.
I love this. I love how you're just bringing like international breads to us like this. This is so amazing.
Thank you. And yes, actually I forget your coffee, but this is amazing with coffee. You need to try
oh,
because
yeah.
in Honduras we
I'll get it
export.
with the Armenian coffee, so I'm really going like full throttle here.
Yes, we drink the coffee like a black coffee without sugar.
Me too.
That's
how
amazing.
we do it, right?
And we use the bread to put inside and eat. That is the reason our bread is more dense, like a little bit heavy, and not too much sweet. That is important, and that is the reason I sell a lot, because this is not a sweet bread.
No, this is perfect. This is so my speed of what I like. Okay, so when we get bread, if I want to do an order, so can I get bread when people see you on Friday? Can we get bread for the week? Like, when does it start to kind of go stale?
Actually, I receive orders during the whole week, because I have the bread.
But I'm saying, does it last? If I buy this, is it? Can I like use this for a week, or does it start getting bad in a few days? Like, when does it start to get stale?
You can have this like a 1 week in the back, but you can save that frozen.
Okay.
Yes, I recommend.
So we either eat it all that week, or we start to freeze it after.
Yeah, you can cut in a slice. Actually, I give persons the advice to put different papers in a Ziploc and put in the freezer.
Yeah, that's
and then if you want to take a slice, you can put in the toaster. The flavor get more intensive, and you feel the difference of the bread. Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. So when we wrap it, we put in the freezer, Ziploc bag. You said that should be fine.
Yes.
No,
and then
like wax paper or.
You if you want to put like a little piece of paper in the middle, like a cheese, you put a little piece of papers in the middle. You can go and take the piece you want and you put in the toaster, and that's it.
Do you think you're ever going to get your own bakery that we can go to every day?
Actually, that is my idea. I work with that. Everybody say the same. When are you going to open your shop?
We need you every day, girl.
That is my dream. That is my dream. Not just for bread. I want to put my culture, all food and bread, here in Fresno and Clovis. And but I need to wait. I need to wait like 1 year more, and then I'm going to get that challenge, like.
So how do you feel when you have these people, like, especially in Clovis, people that were just born and raised here, don't have a culture like we do, like a rich culture, and they love your bread, and they've never had food like this, and they're like, we've never had food from any of this part of the world. How does it make you feel when you give them an experience they've never had?
Actually, that is amazing. One day, one lady, I remember different moments, but one day, like 3 weeks ago, she buy, I think, Quesadilla Bread. I don't remember. But she returned, like, in the middle of the street, and she screamed me, "Oh, my God, your bread is amazing." I'm trying to just smile and say, "Oh, thank you," but I feel like very emotional. Yes, and that made me cry, because it's amazing. It's amazing, because I put my country here, and nobody knows about my country. And nobody knows about our culture. And I feel so happy to be that person putting something of my country here.
I love that. Have you met a lot of other people from Honduras here in the Central Valley? Is there like a little community you guys have?
Actually, it's very funny, because I count the person I found came from Honduras, and I have 2.5 years here, and I just found 5 persons came from Honduras. And if you are from Honduras, please say hi to my page in Instagram, because I want to find another person to knows this. I have a lot of customers that came from El Salvador, and they do this type of bread. And they come and buy, and they say, hey, Dad, this remember my grandma bread, or they remember when I was in my country. And it's amazing, but I don't find too much persons came from my country. But yes, for Guatemala, El Salvador, yes. Yes, and it's the same. I know a lot of persons came from Mexico, and I have a lot of customers came from Mexico too. But we have different culture, because for us, quesadilla is this. For them, quesadilla is a tortilla. And when I came here the first day, I ordered one quesadilla because I said, oh, they have a quesadilla. And they give me tortilla, cheese, and chicken. It was amazing too. But
it was good, but it's different. Oh my God. I love this so much, and I really do like this more than because I've had the different breads, and I really like this because it's just the right amount of sweetness. Sometimes some of the Mexican breads are a little too sweet for me, and then there are other cultures where it's not sweet enough at all. You have some of the produce are not sweet, so this is in between. This is just what I like.
Yeah, and we have sweet things too, because we have alfajores, that is a very sweet cookie, but has dulce de leche in the middle, and the dulce de leche, when you feel has milk and sugar actually, and like a caramel, but it's a sweet, but it's delicious. We have another things like the peach cream cake. I'm start selling that in the peach party in Clovis, and I said I'm going to sell that just for that day, but now I can't stop because everybody like the cream. Our cream is very different too because we don't use cheese. And
what's your cream?
We cook the cream with milk and other things, and we made the cream, and then I bake that.
Oh my goodness!
And when you find cream here, is with cheese, and you don't need. You just made a mix, and that's it. But in our country, we cook that, and it's safe if the weather is hot. You can sell that outside the whole day. And that is okay because it's safe, because you cook that. And I made that for the peach party. And oh my God, that is amazing. Now I need to make that for Friday.
But there's so many things, man. You're holding out. This is why you have to get a shop so that I could try everything. But
actually, I have the shop.
we got to do the shop. But this is really good, because I'm a trainer. So people are like, you eat stuff like this. I do. And the thing is, because you're using like whole ingredients and everything, it is really healthy. And you can eat this and be full without eating a lot. This is like, I suggest this. This is a perfect morning breakfast where you can have that, dip it in the coffee, and this is really filling. So you don't have to eat like a lot. You could get full off a little bit. That's
just
why I
a little piece.
That's why I think this is like the way to go. So
I made my exercise too, and I eat a bread too, but I don't eat like too much,
right?
Because I don't need it. You just want a little piece, and that's it, and you feel satisfied.
Yeah,
and that's it. The coconut bread. This coconut bread is vegan. And persons, if you want a vegan bread, I have the traditional coconut bread from Honduras, and this is a vegan bread because I made everything with coconut, coconut oil, coconut water, and coconut milk to do this bread.
Love that. Do you have any gluten-free yet? Is that coming?
Actually, we have the banana bread in gluten-free too.
So you're a one-stop shop, so no one has an excuse not to come see this girl.
Yes. We have two type of sizes. We have like a mini loaf, and we have the loaf.
Oh, I've seen,
in the same.
Don't you have a medium? I thought one time you gave me a medium size. Maybe you did just give me this. I thought you gave me a medium one time. I thought you gave me something between these two sizes.
It's between, yes.
The half,
the half of this.
I remember that.
Yes, the half.
Well, everybody has to come out Friday nights. You can come see her at Farmers Market, and then come see me. So one-stop shop.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on my show, Cathy.
Oh, thank you for inviting me.
Thanks for coming on my show, Mike. So tell us where you're from and what you do.
So I'm originally from Fresno, but my shop is in Clovis, and I own a scuba diving shop called California Scuba Center on Shaw and Clovis Avenue.
How long have you guys been around?
So we opened up, I like to joke about this a little bit. So we decided that, with the whole pandemic coming up, we thought it'd be really fun to like open a business right before it starts and really challenge ourselves. So we actually, we technically opened our doors September of 2019. So you can see the timing.
Oh my goodness.
So, but we're still here, we're surviving, we're rolling right along, and we're staying busy with classes and traveling and having all kinds of fun.
So when did you get involved in scuba diving?
So I've been diving for a number of years, just as a hobby for myself. And then when my son decided he wanted to get certified, I took him to a shop. I met the instructor and I kind of became friends. So I started helping teach classes, and then I started actually helping work at that dive shop. And then eventually, the way the cards fell, an opportunity arose for me to open my own shop, and so I took that opportunity and opened up the shop. So I've been doing this for, I don't know, 20 years.
Wow.
So I've been involved in the diving industry, and somehow, yeah.
I mean, what's it like? Because I think you get all kinds of people. You get people that are really scared about it, people that are really excited about it. What's it been like? What's the journey like?
It's actually a very interesting journey. We have taken a number of different personalities on these journeys. But the good thing is that between myself and my other instructor, we've got, between the two of us, we have like over 70 years of experience. And so we're able to help people get around their fears, get away from the anxieties. One of the things that we teach through our agency, which is called NAUI, the National Association of Underwater Instructors, is we have this freedom to teach, first of all, so we can teach any way we see fit as long as we meet the criteria. But through our flexibility of teaching, we can get around anxieties and help people feel comfortable in the water. And we call it basically training through, or safety through education. So we want you to make sure you're fully educated so that you're safe in the water, and that helps to relieve some of more of those anxieties too. What
were some of your challenges personally in diving?
Honestly, I didn't have any myself. I'm kind of, I kind of do like crazy stuff anyway, so it didn't really affect me. But like my wife went through, she went for years, she would not have any interest at all of being a diver. And then finally one day she just said, "Hey, I want to become a diver." And I was like, "Who are you?" So, so what I did for her, which she got a little bit of an extra bonus out of it, because I took her in our backyard and worked with her one-on-one for about a week or two before she even started the class. And then when she came into the class, she was kind of over some of those anxieties already. But some of the most common ones we have are people, it's the mask. When we have to do a mask clearing procedure, we put water in the mask and you have to clear the water out. And so sometimes water will go up the nose and people kind of freak out over that. And so we kind of give you some tricks on how to get around that. And then that's probably the most common one. Other than that, it's just learning how to equalize the pressures in your eustachian tubes, because it creates a little bit of a pain in your ear. So we have to teach them how to get around that too.
I know it's all about your breath and your breathing. Have you noticed that calming your breath and taming your breath and training your breath to do this, has it helped you like in other ways of life, like with exercising and yoga and just doing other things, or not really?
Well, no, it does. I mean, it's funny you mentioned yoga, because yoga kind of plays into this, into diving. We don't like people to necessarily go down and regulate, like count your breath, like in 2, 3, out 2. We don't really care like that, but we want you to do is we want you to be relaxed and calm and take a full deep breath and a full exhale, because we want that full exchange of that air, because we're underwater. So our body's taking on these extra gases that we don't normally take on at the surface, which is nitrogen. And so by getting these full gas exchanges, by taking these deep breaths, normal deep breaths and normal full exhales, we're making sure we get that full exchange, which helps to limit the likelihood of experiencing any kind of dive issues. So, but yoga plays right along. It's actually a good skill to have, because you can use yoga with your, especially I used to do yoga, and to me it's like I can go underwater and almost like meditate and just sit there and just relax. And then now especially if I haven't been in the water for a while, it helps me to like calm myself and meditate a little bit, and then all of a sudden I can take off and I'm good to go, and my breathing's normal and I'm fine.
That's really cool. And as you mentioned, I hope I can bring it up, that your partner is Stephen Price Cedar.
Yes.
He's talked about maybe getting this into schools, getting this program, which I think is fantastic. I would have loved that, like when I was in school, to learn like these things. How's the process going on that?
So it's a work in progress.
I bet.
It's been a challenge, because we've been I shouldn't say pushing it. So we've been running a summer program for the last 6 years called Dive into STEM or Dive into Space. It's changed names a couple times. And that was a very successful program that we did with Clovis Unified, in which we actually took part of the NASA diving program and implemented it into other STEM-related courses, and then we had an underwater aspect of it. So we did diving, and we had an underwater structure that was an actual underwater like lab, and the students would go into the lab and do different skills underwater, and the kids absolutely loved it. And the last time we did it, we actually introduced full face masks with radio comms, so they were able to talk to each other underwater.
Oh, I bet they loved
and
that.
They lost their minds over
my
that. So
goodness.
they loved it. Unfortunately, this year we weren't able to offer that. Clovis Unified opted not to do it this year. But we're hoping to bring it back next year. We've heard some rumors that some people got upset because we didn't offer it this year. So,
I bet. Oh, gosh. I would have been disappointed, too.
yeah, so we're looking to bring it back next year. And then we also do our own youth programs through our shop. So we actually start training at age 8. And we'll
That's so good.
Oh, yeah. And the kids love it. And it's like a summer camp. So they go for 4 weeks, a couple days a week. And they start at age 8. We have the bubble makers. And then they go from 8 to 10. And then from 10 to 12, we have the SEAL team. And then from 12 and up, we do actual junior diver certifications, and kids love it. We did our first school this year. We got contacted by University High School, which is located on the Fresno State campus, and they reached out to us and said, "Hey, can you guys put together this, class?" I'm like, "Absolutely." So we went out there and did 1 week of training on the campus. Mornings were in classroom, afternoons in the Fresno State pool, and then the following week, we took them to Catalina for 3 days and did all their diving, all their actual certification in Catalina. And we took 16 kids, we certified 15 out of 16, and I hired 2 of them to work for my shop.
I love that.
So-
Oh, my goodness. And I bet, okay, so what's the youngest you can get certified in scuba?
So the actual certification would be 10, and that's it's kind of a tricky question. So we can actually certify at 8, but it's called a supervised diver.
Right. So you can't be alone. I get it.
Well, they have to be with a dive professional, so dive master or above, and they're usually limited to the pool. Now, you can get the same certification for open water, but now you're limited to like 30 feet.
I get it.
So
Okay.
junior diver is really the first one we do, and that starts at age 10.
And see, I would think a lot of parents wouldn't get there. Like, okay, let's say you have a beach house and your kids are in the ocean, just so that you don't have to worry about your kids kind of drowning and kind of leave them out there. A lot of parents might be into this just so that they could not worry about their kids drowning outside on the beach when they go, if they have, like I said, beach house or something,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh yeah, they're with their older sister that's 10 that's certified in this, and that can help. Have you noticed some of that too, that takes away kind of that fear in parents?
Well, what we found with the families is that the families go on these vacations and they'll go to the Caribbean or something like that, and they're always looking for something to do.
Right.
And especially with the kids. And I'm like, well, we can certify your kids to dive. And they're like, what? So they get shocked.
Right.
And so we end up training an entire family.
I love
and
that.
And then they go travel to like Hawaii, or they go to Mexico, or they go to the Caribbean, and they come back and they're like, oh my God, it's the best thing we ever did. Because as a family, they get to go underwater and experience this underwater world that we have. And what we share with our students and what we share with our customers when they come in and ask about diving is that what people don't realize, I'm assuming you're a traveler. A lot of us travel around the world. But if you only travel land, you're only getting 30% of our Earth. 70% of it's water, And of that 70%, we've only explored 5% of that.
Wow.
So there's a ton of stuff down there to see and experience, and it's breathtaking. I'm a big wreck guy. I love wrecks. And what I do before I go on these things is I look up the history of that shipwreck. And some of them don't really have a story. They're like, oh, there's one in, I think, Mexico or something like that. It was smuggling drugs and they confiscated it and they just sunk it, so whatever. But some of them were like actual patrol ships. They patrolled the coast for years, or they were part of the war and in World War II. And there's just so much history and story behind these ships. And then you get inside of them and you try to picture people actually walking through there at one point, and you're swimming up the stairs, going to different levels. It's just amazing. So. Yeah,
I just actually interviewed the ambassador of the Titanic, and he was
talking
about so that would have been like a great thing to go and dive in that area.
Little deep for us, but that one's pretty deep. I forgot what the depth on the Titanic is, but it's beyond recreational limits. But that's the kind of stuff that we like to do within our limits. I
So
mean,
is that something for the SEALs team? You mentioned that.
so our SEAL team is just a youth program. So
Oh, okay.
So yeah, in order to
I thought it
dive,
had something to do with Navy SEALs.
No,
Like,
no,
we
no, no.
learned
We
it was
just
kind
call
of
them-
that kind of training. Okay.
yeah, no, we actually are working with the Navy Sea Cadets. Though we're going to put together a program for the Navy Sea Cadets. I actually was one when I was a kid here in Fresno. So
Love that.
The guy who's the Western director of them is a friend of mine. So he's like wants to implement this diving program. So we're working on that now, and we want to put together a SEAL type training program for these cadets and really put them through the ringers. So,
That would be so cool.
Yeah.
So what's it? Yeah, I know there's probably like some hold up in getting this in schools. Is it a financial thing? Is it really expensive to scuba dive?
So to get certified, I mean, it depends on your situation. I mean, what's expensive? I mean,
Because it's a lot for the gear, and we don't have to go into
Yeah.
brass tacks. I was just thinking that you have to get the gear and then the classes.
Really, I mean, having your own gear is nice, but is it a must? Not at all. I mean,
Well, you probably supply that for the classes. if
right.
they're doing that.
So in our training program, we basically have a lump package deal. It's $800, and that includes all your rental gear, all your air fills. The only thing that's not included in that you need are your mask, snorkel, fins, boots, gloves, and a hood.
And how long does it take about? What's the class rate to get certified? Like how many classes do you usually have to take?
So we do. So the educational or the curriculum is actually online, so you can take it at your own pace.
Wow.
But we do offer 3 in-person classroom sessions, so that myself or one of the instructors can go more in depth in some of the information, because sometimes watching a video or reading a book,
very different than experience.
it doesn't really click. So we have ways of actually drawing it on a dry erase board or explaining it where it makes more sense. And so we do these in-person classrooms. We do 3 of them. And then right after those are done, we go to the pool for 1 weekend, so a Saturday and Sunday in the pool. And then the following weekend, Saturday and Sunday, we go to the open water, and then you're done. You're certified. And it's a lifelong certification. It never expires.
Really? You never have to like recap? Like what if I did it once and then like 10 years from
Well,
now?
I didn't say you don't have to refresh.
Because I was like,
So-
at 10 years from now, I'm not sure I can retain anything.
Yeah, so
Like that.
we do have refreshers, but your actual certification does not expire. And the way we
You
operate,
suggest refreshers.
right? So the way we offer it is, any agency is going to recommend refreshers,
Right.
if you haven't been diving in about a 6-month period. And the way we do it is, if you trained with us, you never pay for a refresher. We just tell you, come on out and we'll do your refresher for free.
Oh, I love that. That's actually one of the best sells there. Yeah, wow.
But we're going to get upset with you because we dive a lot. We dive every single month. So if you need a refresher, we're going to want to know why you're not diving with us. So because we dive the local lakes, and
okay. So if I take the class and I get certified and everything, I'm now part of a team that I could just dive in when they're doing it. Like I'll get
absolutely.
invited.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, that's really cool.
Yeah, and we not only do we dive
I
the
love
local,
that.
yeah, it's great. And not only do we dive the local lakes, but we have we have what we call our dive family. We don't have a dive club; it's a dive family, and that's how we refer to it. And our dive family will routinely send out messages to each other, or they'll have us send out a message. Hey, 2 of us are going to go to Monterey this weekend. Who wants to join us? And they'll get
I love
8 or
that.
9 people going over there. And
That's
yeah.
really great. You guys have such a good community.
Yeah, they are great people, and we have a bunch of us have our own boats, so we take people out on boats. But I mean, like right now, they always get mad at me because we do this monthly lake cleanup, which we go into Millerton Lake and we go out there and we clean up the garbage out of the
Love
lake.
that.
And I cover all the expense. I provide free lunch.
So you guys are going down to get the stuff that people can't reach.
Oh yeah, we go down there and we found, it was funny because last year we were finding, the water was kind of low. So we were finding like the old Pop Top Olympia beer cans from like the 70s. And some of them were still full, so.
Wow, I love that. Have you ever found anything really valuable under there?
Not in Millerton.
But in general, from
Yeah, I mean,
diving?
people hire me to come out and look for stuff. So I've gone up to like Bass Lake and I pulled out cell phones and keys and wallets and stuff like that.
Any wedding rings or anything?
No, but I know there's a $26,000 wedding ring up in Bass Lake. I know.
Who wants to go look for it?
I know the general vicinity of where it's at, but
couldn't
it's in a
find it?
part of the lake that we can't actually anchor a boat because it's in the middle.
Oh,
So we have
no.
to anchor on the shore, like near the shore, and swim out there, and it's too far to swim. So we're trying to figure out how to go out there and look for this thing. But Bass Lake's pretty freaky underwater because I've been to the bottom of Bass Lake underwater, and it's pitch black, and there's a full forest down there. And one of those trees actually freaked me out because when I was going down by myself, I thought it was a person looking at me.
Oh my gosh.
Because all I saw was this, you know. I'm like, what is that? And it was a tree. So.
What's like one of the craziest experiences you had? Because I'm sure you've seen a lot of sea life.
I don't know about crazy, but the one I always think about that was kind of funny to me was we were diving in Hawaii, and I was diving on this little boat wreck, and it was an old fishing trawler. And I was like just goofing around, so I'd swim through the windows of the wheelhouse, and I'd go out the door, and I'd go through the deck of the boat, and I'd come out the hole, the side where it got crashed. And the whole time I'm doing this, I have like 3 sea turtles following me all the way around. They just kept following me like a train.
How big were they?
Oh, they were big. So they were good-sized sea turtles. And I thought it was funny because I didn't really interact with them because it's against the law to touch them over there. So I didn't want to get near them. I just started swimming. Well, they just started following me for no reason. And so I thought it was kind of cool to do that. And, you know, I mean, it's fun. I mean, we were in Roatan, Honduras, and they have grouper down there. They're like this, and they're like dogs. They'll come over and bump you because they want you to pet them. And so they'll come up and bump you. And so I start petting this one, and he comes over, and I put my hand out. And he lays in my hand. I start petting him like this, and I let him go, and he just swims off. I was like, this is crazy.
How exciting. I remember just snorkeling. One time a tarpon came and and it was like big lady. So I was like, I thought it was like, at first you always think like a shark. I mean, when you're just like naive like I was like years ago. So I was just kind of like, oh my gosh. And then you realize like it's a harmless fish that just happens to be your size.
Well, it's funny you bring up sharks because, you know, that's one of the other misnomers that we have with scuba diving is everyone's like, oh, sharks, sharks, sharks. But I always challenge my customers when they bring that up. I'm like, we have this thing called Google nowadays.
Exactly, I haven't heard right.
Go Google scuba diver attacked by shark, and you won't find. If you find one, I only know of one.
Yeah, and why is that? Why are you guys avoided by sharks?
Because we're underwater. If you think about it, 99.9% of, and I say 0.9 because of that one guy.
Yeah.
Shark attacks happen on the surface because that is where their food source is, and that's where they're always looking for their food.
So they're not expecting you to be.
So, well, if you're down there with them, they just think you're just some other sea life. So they don't really mess with you, other than that one guy. And I mean, I've been on shark dives with, you know, I've been surrounded by 25 sharks.
And they can't smell you because you have the what? Is that what? They can't smell the.
Well, it's not really smell that they go by. It's really an electrical pulse off their nose. So that's why shark deterrents, like we have shark deterrents in the shop for people who want sharks to stay away, which I don't. I like them to come around. But we have shark deterrents, and what these deterrents actually do is interfere with that electronic signal. So that's how they actually find their prey and so forth. That's why they say if you're at the surface splashing around, that's what draws the shark up there, because the splashing makes them think it's a sea lion or a seal in distress, and so that's what they're looking for. And so they'll go up there and take a bite, and most, if not all, shark attacks are a bite and release, because they don't eat somebody whole, because number one, they don't like the taste of neoprene. Number two, they don't like the way humans taste. So we're not part of their actual food chain. So once they bite, they're like, oh, that's not what I want, and they back away. It's very rare that they actually will eat somebody. And they
have to be really hungry, I guess.
I think I've do some research. I think maybe 1 or 2 that I know of that I've read about. They make a swimmer or a snorkeler or something like that. But that's why for divers, we try to stay underwater as long as we can. And then when we come to the surface at the boat and get out, or we come to the surface at the shore and get out.
Right.
We don't mess around on the surface.
The middle, yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And so, okay, is there any weight limits, or like there's some age restrictions, or the weight restrictions or health restrictions into doing this sport?
Yeah, so we have a medical questionnaire that's used by all the scuba diving agencies. It's an international universal form. We have an international scuba agency called the WRSTC, World Recreational Scuba Training Council. So this medical questionnaire has, 40 questions on it maybe. And if there's certain questions you can say yes to, but there's other ones if you say yes, then you have to get a doctor's clearance. With the doctor's clearance, then it's up to us as the instructor to determine whether or not we're going to allow you to come into our class. I'm not a medical professional. I don't pretend to be a medical professional. So if it's something that I don't know about, we have an agency that we reach out to called DAN, Divers Alert Network.
That's good.
And we ask them, because Divers Alert Network is an actual dive medical research nonprofit agency. And that's all they do is dive medical research. So I can contact them, ask all my questions. They'll give me lengthy answers like I've experienced to make the best judgment call I can make.
What are some of the no-nos? Is asthma like a big deal?
You know, asthma used to be an automatic disqualification, but not anymore. Now
good.
it depends on the level of asthma, and so we actually have divers that have asthma, and they dive, and they do well. So you have to understand, because first of all, our sport slash hobby is not as exhausting as people think. The hardest part about it is if you have to walk in if you're doing a shore entry, is walking into the water and walking out. If you're on a boat, it's climbing the ladder when you get out. Getting in's easy. Once you're underwater, you're weightless. And in a lot of places we go, you don't actually even swim. You float. And if you go to like Mexico, where we have underwater currents, it's a drift dive. You don't kick at all. You just float, and you'll float for like hour and a half doing nothing. So it's not overly exerting. So because of that, a lot of our divers who have asthma don't get affected, because they're not out there running around breathing in the pollen and breathing in all of these other variants that will aggravate the asthma. You're breathing purified, filtered air out of a cylinder.
Right, so you're not going to get. What about mental illnesses? Because I actually had someone on the show that was doing surf lessons for autistic kids. Is that something that you guys can do as well, or what are like the mental illness?
No, absolutely. In the program I was talking to you about, the Dive into STEM, Dive into Space program, we have had some autistic children in there, and we just. We can work with them, no problem. We provide them special attention, because sometimes it takes a little bit more repetitive teaching of an item, of a certain skill, to them to get to understand it. But we're there for them. I mean, I tell all my students, when people ask me, like when we go to class at the pool, they're like, "What's the time schedule?" I said, "Starts at 8." They're like, "What time does it end?" Whenever you're done. We're not on a time schedule. We're here to train you. If it takes 9 hours, it takes 9 hours. If it takes 3 hours, it takes 3 hours. We are here to train you until you're comfortable. We're not here on a time schedule. And that's how we look at it.
That's so cool. Thank you so much for coming on my show. If people have questions for you, where do we go? So website?
Sure, our website is cascubacenter.com, and our phone number is 559-512-8727.
Do you guys, are guys there a lot to answer? Or?
Oh yeah, we're open 7 days a week. Monday through Friday, we're there from 9 to 6.
Perfect.
Saturdays from 9 to 5. I have to think about this. And Sundays from 10 to 3. And then all the staff is very knowledgeable. They can help. If I'm not there and they don't have the answer, they'll call my cell phone, or they'll get a hold of me right away. And then if you really want to have some fun, follow us on TikTok. The girls do and I say girls because all my staff are female. I don't know why guys never apply for my openings, but so I have all female staff. All but two are college students at Fresno State. One of them's a senior at University High School, and one of them is a retired nurse. They do our TikToks. They do a fabulous job. They have a lot of fun with it. We got Instagram, Facebook, everything that we have on social media.
For the California Scuba Center.
CA Scuba Center. That's how you find us on everything.
CA Scuba Center.
Yeah.
So you don't have to put Fresno in front of it, just CA Scuba Center.
That's it.
I love that. Thank you so much for coming on, Mike. And
thank you for having me.
Maybe one day, since I got you on my show, you can get me underwater.
Come on out. We'll do it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Felt right in the moment, felt right in the summertime. It felt right drinking cherry wine with you. Just wanted to own it, just wanted to take the time, learn all the things that I could about you. Now it's such a mess here, oh we are just stressed here. Used to be so easy with you. Now I must confess here, oh I must confess dear, don't think I'm in love with you. Winter is coming and I don't know what to do, and there's no more use in running, no more running to you. And I don't want your loving, I don't wanna be just friends, knowing all this time we were playing pretend.
It's a mystery.